fellow artist Morag Stokes, originally from Scotland, now is combining her Celtic heritage with motifs from Aotearoa and the Pacific Islands.
My name is Morag Stokes, and I've been living in New Zealand with my family for the past 11 years now. I came from Glasgow originally, Glasgow in Scotland, as you can tell from the accent. We came here originally for my husband's work, and we chose Khandallah when we came to New Zealand because it seemed like a nice family suburb. I'm working now as an artist, as a painter. I paint for exhibition, and I also tutor classes in my own studio, mainly for artists. I work with acrylic paints predominantly. I've dabbled in oils and watercolours, but acrylics are definitely my thing. And I make skins with the paint so that I can actually weave with it. And that's allowed me to really move into work that sits on the boundaries of my Scottish Celtic heritage and it's the artwork that's interested me since I've been in New Zealand, particularly Maori and Pacific Island artwork. Work where there's an element of weaving involved. That lends itself well to my painting process. I make these bands on sheets of glass. They're made with several layers of acrylic paint and gel, and I then cut them off with a scalpel knife and lift them. I can just lift this up and just tuck that in. Sometimes I want to add a little bit of medium underneath. The Celts, they were a diverse group of tribal societies going back to Iron Age and Roman era Europe. They go back as far as 800 years BC. The artwork that they produced, which influenced me a lot, is from the Latin period. The Latin period was a very significant period in their art making. Their work involves an incredible amount of symmetry and intricate detailing and knotting, and it's the knot work that I love. I guess I was realising just how much influence had come when I started seeing Celtic imagery in Maori and Pacific Island art here. I have a number of drawings and sketches and bits and pieces of Celtic imagery. When I first saw this, I saw a tiki. There's the tiki eyes, there's the tongue coming out there, and I thought, well, I can actually turn it into a tiki. If I hold this up and let you see the Celtic shield, you've got something there that's quite similar between the two. The Celts were believers in shape-shifting, and they believed that they could move backwards and forwards between animal and human forms. So some of the works that I'm doing here try to get that sense of shape-shifting. This piece, for example, people outside of New Zealand might just see that as a piece of knotwork, but it kind of shifts depending on your cultural orientation into tickiness. I've always been interested in art all through high school. I recall vividly an interview with a careers officer at school, and I told her I was quite keen to be an artist, and she laughed at me and she said, if you want a life of poverty, then you go straight down this line and you can just about guarantee it. So I decided to go down the science line. So my degree is a Bachelor of Science degree, and I studied psychology as a science subject and moved through, different jobs related to that. So it's really since been coming to New Zealand, and, I was a home-based mum, so I had time outside of that to really look at my art without the pressure of making a career out of it. There's just a great acceptance of artists in New Zealand as well, artists at every level, from the hobbyist through to people who are actually making a good living of it. It's been a good place to develop as an artist.